Hey everyone, Kristen here from Legacy Homemaking, and I wanted to talk to you today about the curriculum choices that we used for my third grader this year, and what we liked, what we didn't like, are we keeping any of it, what are we going to do for next year, how it went. So just come join us and see what happened along our journey. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk to you about what we did was we used a company called Christian Light Publication or Christian Light Education. It's actually a Mennonite company, and we use them. They have all the subjects, but we use them specifically for reading and language arts. Now these little booklets right here are called light units, and so that is what we use. There are 10 of them for the year, and they're the same for language arts. This one's reading. And so when you finish one book, you move to the next one little booklet. The reading light units came with a book, and he used this one reading book for his entire year. And I'm going to talk about the reading curriculum first. So a light unit, inside of it, it has the lessons for what he's supposed to be doing each and every day. This curriculum is very much open and go and very student led. And so, for example, there are a list of instructions of what they're supposed to do, and if there needs to be examples provided on how to do it, they do that as well. So you can see this is talking about study words. So there are study words, and then exploring the story. So it'll give you like a little prompt to read before the story, and then it says to silently read Luck or Blessing, page 245 to 250. So he would then turn to the story in his book for the year and read that, and then he would write the answer. It says write the answer to each question. All right, and then there's also read this Bible verse to yourself. So there's Bible memorization. I always had him X that out because we were already doing Bible memorization for his choir, for Awana, for Sunday school, for CC. Like, I just said, you're memorizing a lot of the Bible, just go from that one. It talked about prefixes and suffixes, so that's down here. I mean, and not this is just what's in this particular lesson of this light book, but it talks about a bunch of things that you just don't really realize that kind of go with reading, and kind of reiterates the fact of what he's been learning in language arts. Underline the bold word that makes this sentence true. So talking about true, false. It was really good. And then there's always a section of we remember, and so it's about things that they have learned previously. So it's talking about categories, putting things in categories, writing words in alphabetical order. So it really does cover a plethora of stuff. I really enjoyed this curriculum for him, and he did not mind it very much. I never heard him complain, and it wasn't like pulling teeth to get him to do it. I wouldn't say he was overly excited about it either. He's a 9-year-old boy though. But the stories are very, very sweet, precious stories. There's also some Bible stories as well as just regular stories. It is written by a Mennonite community, and so it'll have Mennonite stories, Mennonite type stories, but they are precious. One of the reasons I went ahead and did this curriculum as a reading curriculum, a standalone reading curriculum in and of itself, is for the fact that a couple reasons. Not a lot of homeschoolers I found do an actual reading curriculum. They just do a lot of read alouds, and they read a lot of books, and they keep track that way, and that is great. But I am a former teacher, and I come from a long line of educators, and so I know what they do also in a public school system. And I know that here in Texas they take standardized tests every year, and part of those standardized tests for every grade is a reading test, 3rd grade and up. So it was important to me personally that he know how to read a story and go back and find some answers to it. So that was my own personal preference, and that is what I really liked about this, is that it taught those critical thinking skills, because that is a skill. to be able to go in, read a story, answer some questions, find your answer in that story and stuff like that. And so if for some reason something happened, either to myself or with my husband's job or whatever, and the kids had to go into a public school setting or even a private school setting, had to go into any school setting, they would know how to do this. This would not completely just rock their world. And it was a good way for me to see his comprehension on paper. Can he comprehend? Where is he struggling with comprehension? What is he struggling with? In every light unit, there is a quiz and a test, and those tear out, and that is actually what I personally keep for that light unit to see how he did. Once these booklets are done, I toss them. So, really great. We will probably be repurchasing this for 4th grade. Language arts from the same company. It was good. It was really good. So at the beginning of the year, this past year, with it being our first time full-time homeschooling throughout the year, he struggled as a 3rd grade boy trying to figure out how to self-motivate, self-educate, and do all those things. And so it was a lot of moving parts. And so for a while, we kind of just dropped this. And that was on the recommendation of my director at our co-op. We were in classical conversations this next year, and in classical conversations, they don't even touch language arts till 4th grade. And so we did pick it back up at the end of the year as he got faster and better at self-teaching. So this language arts is very, very thorough, very good. It covers a lot of stuff. This light unit obviously got left out. But so it talks about, like, for example, compound sentences. And so it gives, here's what I was talking about in the red. It's the examples and the instructions. So he can read that. If he has any questions, he can come to me with them, and it tells him what to do. And so it makes him underline 2 sentences that in each compound sentence, circle the word that joins them together, and then it has him write his own. And then match the phrases to each word it describes. And then there's also, once again, the We Remember section. And so that goes back over what he learned in previous light units. Titles of respect. Sentences that, like, what's an asking sentence, what's a telling sentence, different types of sentences, abbreviations, describing words. Also in this, one of the things that I liked about it, we didn't do it because he was doing something different, but it is all in one, is there was a handwriting thing. So it would say, trace and copy your penmanship for lesson 1 on page 58. So he would have to take this light unit, turn and find page 58. It's towards the back. And he would have to practice his penmanship. Like I said, we didn't do this per se. Sometimes he would do it if he wanted to. But we had a different penmanship. But if you like that, it's back there. It's not a whole lot of practice. So take that for what you will. But it's still, you can see it, and you can have them try really, really hard to get it done. Let me see if there's anything else. Penmanship, and then also spelling words. So if you wanted something that was all in one area, this is a good fit. I will say that, as you can see, you're covering a lot of ground, so the lessons can be a little long for just sitting there and just cranking out your language arts lesson, which is why we put it on hold at the beginning of the year, but we were able to pick it back up. I did not have him do the spelling because we were doing a different spelling, but this is an excellent way to get a bunch of stuff crammed into a small space. It is very, very thorough. This is a maybe for next year. I'm trying to decide what we're gonna do for writing and for grammar, and I'm looking at language arts here, or also IEW, Institute for Excellence in Writing with Andrew Pudawa, and Fix It Grammar there. So I'm debating between the two, but this, I give this a thumbs up. It was great. It's just a little lengthy, so take that for what you will. Next is Horizons. This is what we did for his math, and I really liked it. I might turn you around and do a look through this way. It's colorful. It is incredibly thorough. I was always so surprised by what they were asking him to do, because I know I I don't remember doing this in 3rd grade. And I was a struggling math student myself, and so the fact that he does this and does it with so much ease is like so impressive to me. So we really liked Horizons. However, I will say it seems advanced. And I did not think that going in. But for example, you're solving for n. I don't know if y'all can see that. I need to just turn it around. But he's solving for n. He is finding, like talking about improper fractions, things like that. So stuff that thankfully he is a very gifted mathematically, with the math mind. So he gets it. Like I can explain it to him, and he goes. If somebody struggled in math, I don't know how it would go. It might be okay, but and there are tests right inside the book also. But for example, here's our improper fractions. If y'all would like a deeper flip through of this, let me know, and I will for sure make that video. That will be easy. This is a possibly for next year, probably not. Only for the fact, not that it wasn't good. It is great. Holy moly, he's doing things I didn't think were possible. But the teacher's manual is not super informative, and there's not a whole lot of student instructions on the worksheets either. And I think I am about to be at my peak if we continue on with this curriculum of what I can remember how to teach from school. So I haven't had any issues yet with remembering how to do an improper fraction, really, but there's not a whole lot of instruction inside the teacher's manual. Once again, if you would like a deeper dive into Horizons, please let me know. I think I might just do it anyway, but it is not because it is not a good curriculum that we would not be continuing on. It is just because I might be at my threshold of knowledge. And I might personally, as a teacher, need more instruction than what is given in the teacher's manual. What we might be switching to, there's a few other things. We actually started out the very beginning of the year with a computer-based program called CTC Math, taught by some guy. It's an Australian guy. He, you never see him, so things just pop up on the screen. So there's no physical person writing out something. It kept up with all your tests, all your grades, how they were doing. It taught the lessons for you. I was like, this is great, woohoo. Once again, it was at the beginning of the year. We were trying to get our footing, and it was hard. My son's not an auditory learner. He's very kinesthetic and very visual. And so just it popping up and fading in and out on a screen, he was getting confused. And I was having to go back and reteach, and that kind of defeated the purpose. And so they were a wonderful company to work with. We used it maybe a month and then switched to Horizons. But now that he's better and more used to self-teaching, I might do another try to do a free trial with CTC again and see if he can soar with that. That is an option. Or I was really looking hard at Saxon Math, which I know Saxon Math 5.4 has a lot of student instruction in the student book itself. There's also someone called Nicole, the math lady, who takes Saxon lessons and teaches them, and you can pay her. And so I might do that. The downside to that is that I'm still grading his math lessons, which sometimes that was hard for me as a teacher to just remember to like look over it and make sure he's doing it right. That's just where I need to be better. So take that for what you will. Great program, great curriculum. I'm floored with all he learned this year in math. Next would be our handwriting. So we did classical conversations this year for our co-op, and that is where his handwriting came in. This is Prescripts, Cursive, Passages, and Illumination poetry. There's one that's hymns. There's one, I I don't know if there's like timeline cards for this age or not. It was good. Do you hear my dog scratching at my door? It was good. So we had to copy down, like this is excerpt from General Prologue of the Canterbury Tales. So he would have to copy it down. And then there's also like the scheme of assonance, so it would tell you a brief blurb of something. And then there was drawing practice. He usually skipped the drawing practice, but it's there. It is all, my dog. It is all in black and white, the drawing practice is. So, but here, see, sometimes he did it. And sometimes it was a little hard, but did talk about imagery, stuff like that. So, take that for what it's worth. It was okay. We might do something different next year, but I'm not sure what. But this was good, and I got it at Mardell. So it was also easy, didn't have to be shipped to me. Last but not least is spelling. We did spelling by sound and structure from Rod and Staff. It was good. So the lessons are all in there. There's a part A. Let's see, a part A is right here. Then the part B and a part C over here. It was okay. This sometimes frustrated him a little bit when it wasn't like super noticeable what they were really wanting you to do. I thought the words were a little too easy. / they didn't really seem to follow like a rule. They didn't give you like a rule. And I think I was really looking for a spelling thing like, hey, we're working with this rule, so this is what we're gonna practice spelling. And there were a few that did that, like stove, wise, twice, snake, wave, huge bit. So I don't know. My son, my third grader, is a very natural speller. I was not as a kid, so this is a brand new round for me. So maybe that was why I thought it was too easy, was because he was acing it a lot. Brothers, sisters, covers, legs, grades, assets. This is from lesson 14. Boxes, lights, bones, gifts, pages, face, faces. So it was good. Once again, easy, open and go. Not a whole lot of bad things to say, but I am open to looking at something different. Or if we do this next year, the CLE Language Arts, I will just use the spelling that is in here instead. So, not bad. I just don't know if there's something better. And then lastly was all of our family subjects that we could do together. So history, science, geography, stuff like that. We were in Classical Conversations Co-op, and so we used Classical Conversations for that. And truthfully, I don't know if we'll do it again this next year or not. I started out and bought, sorry, my hair is frizzy. Started out with My Father's World because I wasn't sure what I would think about CC. I ended up really enjoying our community. It's such sweet people. The director is precious. We really enjoyed being with friends one day a week. I don't know if I really enjoyed the CC model as a teacher / mom. So I don't know. I don't know what we'll do. Like I said, I bought My Father's World. It was the American history. Now I forgot the name, but it's for the third and second graders. And I just pulled my first grader along. So I had a third grader and a first grader this year. I just pulled my first grader along. And towards the end of this year, I started opening that back up once we were kind of done with CC. And we've actually been doing that some in the mornings, a couple of days a week, just to give us a rhyme and a rhythm and something new to learn. And it is precious. That curriculum is so good. So you get your history, your geography, your Bible, a bunch of stuff like that. So it's precious. It's so good. One of the things I have with CC is a lot of rote memorization, which I knew going in. And I know that is so good for their little minds. But sometimes I wanted some meat with it. And I know I could have dove in and found it all and stuff, but that's not the kind of homeschool mom I am. I really like a curriculum that says, hey, I have done this research for you. Our company has done this and they put it together, and here are some easy tools, and like it's all laid out. It's really not a whole lot of legwork on my end. So that was such a sweet, precious curriculum that I think this next year, instead of doing CC, we might end up doing My Father's World, Exploring Countries and Cultures. And that would be for my third grader, my fourth grader. Wow, my fourth grader next year, my second grader next year, and I could pull my kindergartner along. So yeah, that has been what we used this year for my third graders homeschool year. It was a pretty light year. I felt like, I know it's just going to get harder, but I am really proud of all that he was able to accomplish, all that we were able to accomplish. And I'm excited to see what next year holds and what we change and maybe what we stick with. So comment down below if you've used any of these, or if you liked or didn't like them, or if you have any suggestions for something that you do like. I would love to hear it. Please don't forget to subscribe. That really, really helps, and I love engaging with you guys. So comments are just fun. They're fun for me. And so yeah, and don't forget to turn on your bell notifications just to know when I do end up posting a video again. Until next time, bye guys.